talk sports again, and this is Vote FM on. This is Vote 104.3 FM, and this is Vote FM Sports on Vote 104.3 FM. Today's topics will be the NPFL, the Finidi George case as the Super Eagles coach, if they'll be hiring a foreign tactical advisor and all of that. We'll be bringing you all of this on the show today on Vote FM Sports here on Vote 104.3 FM. I'm not alone in the studio. I've got John in the studio. Good morning, John.
Good morning, guys.
I've got Godwin. Good morning.
Good morning, guys.
Talking about Finidi George and the NPFL and the Super Eagles job. You know, the meeting yesterday is about getting a new tactical advisor for him, perhaps a foreign tactical advisor. We've been talking about this for a long time now. Finidi George, giving him time. Now talking about the camp, the people in the camp, tactical advisors, people to help him select squad. Is it the right time to bring in all these kind of people?
The timing may be wrong, but I don't think you can ever have enough help in terms of being able to deliver on a job. A technical advisor's role is to come in, assess the squad, assess the players you have on you, and then, make input in terms of how to get the best out of the players you have. So I think it's a good move so long as it's not a ploy to get someone in that can oust him.
I think exactly what I was thinking. I don't think they want to sack him outrightly. They'll bring in someone to advise him. They're doing probably because of the whole thing, they will leave him on office duty and tell the person to just continue to. That's that. I think that's the plan. They don't want to, after 2 games, it's a short time for you to sack a coach. So they don't want to outright say, we are sacking this coach. Let us bring in somebody, a foreign technical advisor. That's how okay, for example, what is he coming to advise? He's coming to tell you, do the job for you. He's going to assess your squad, tell you the best formation your squad can will play. So it's the job of a coach. So what is he advising you? So I think they just brought him in to let him understand how Nigeria football works. Then they will sack Finidi and tell him to continue. That's what I think they want to do. They don't just want to sack Finidi outrightly.
Well, the opponent for July is not the next opponent is not known now until July. So we think coming into the squad now, getting the technical advisor would be a no-no, because I believe Finidi is just giving 2 years. When other people were coming in, they didn't give them this. They didn't bring this team for them. They brought their own team. You talk about Ganotro, you talk about Pesero. They brought in their own team. Why not allow Finidi work with his own team?
It is what it is, basically. Finidi has been given the time, the contract he's been given. He's accepted the contract and he's doing his best with the players he has. But this is why I talk about managing perceptions as a manager in the way you guard yourself and present yourself to the media. It's looking as though with a couple of results he's had that he needs help in the technical department. And that's why we are receiving this news now of a foreign technical advisor being brought in, hopefully to work with Finidi, maybe understudy him, get to know the squad, and then maybe a couple of months, years, we could see him move over and take over the job. But it's not nice. But something like this keeps Finidi on his toes. It's kind of the shock you need to the system to be able to get, going, if you look at it. Because clearly Nigeria has not been going if you look at the results we've been getting, and something has to give.
I believe something has to give. And yeah, talking about we're talking about NNL the other day, and the Super 8 is just concluded, and the champions of the NNL is beyond limits. Yesterday they beat Nasarawa United to claim to be the champions of the NNL. Now these 4 teams will be going into the NPFL next season, but going in as the champion, do you think it gives them that leverage against the big boys?
Of course, it gives them a leverage. It gives them a platform. They have more money coming into the NPFL. Obviously winning the playoffs. All the benefits they're going to be getting moving into the NPFL next season. So it's a good one. It's a good look. Kudos to them. Kudos to Lagos. And we are seeing this shift now happening in the NPFL. But of course, while they're celebrating, there has to be those key things that need to be done, which is getting the squad, key players tied down to good contracts, getting the squad, the finances in to be able to improve the side and to be able to have a good showing. Because one of the things I do not like in football, but we see every day, is club just moving, playing a game of zigzags, moving up and down the ladders rather than consolidating and holding down their positions. So they should be able to look, the goal now should be to get into the NPFL. They've done that. Now they need to be able to maintain a slot in the NPFL.
I think that what they need to do is just to survive the first season, because it's easier for you to come into the MPFL and you go down easily. You don't understand? So most time you are seeing it in other leagues. You win the champion, only won the promotion as the champion, and now they are back to the championship. So
Yeah.
I think what they need to do is to consolidate their position. The opponents you played in the lower division are not the same the opponents you are going to play at Division 1.
But
So
that's why talking about investment into the squad, that was one of the mistakes Burnley did. Burnley made that mistake and it's cost them. Okay, you qualified, and no doubt Vincent Kompany was a rookie manager coming into that role, off his role in Belgium. But you want to keep the players together, but you need to improve the squad because the guys you've been playing, you're not going to meet that same level in the Premier League. So you need to up your think, you need to up your performances, and then you need to up the players in key departments. I don't like this thing about coaches managing and struggling with players, trying to move everybody along and stuff like that. This is the Premier League. You are getting a whopping 65 million pounds to move into the Premier League as champions. You should be able to invest in the squad. And failure to do stuff like that is what leads to the outcomes of going back down after coming to the Premier League. Now they have to try to keep key players again. They have to now try to push to come back to the Premier League.
Okay, now talking about pushing into the Premier League, today is top competitions now. Today it will start the Euro 2024. I don't know what you think about this, but I think there are 24 players. You're telling me the other day that there are 24 players you should be looking out for. I don't know how you managed to put out that list of 24. Why not the list of 10? Because that 24 will be too much to talk about on the show, John.
You know, it is what it is. These are the top stars that we are looking out for in Europe, talking about players that are young, hungry, and ready to win some titles. Okay, so hopefully we are going to be seeing these guys in their country sites and they are going to be participating. But there are two names that I'm super excited for. The first name I'm super excited for is Benjamin Sesko. We all know him. He's a phenomenal striker. He gets on the ball and he's coming in with ample motivation. He just signed a bumper deal with RB Leipzig to stay back rather than move over to somebody next. He's a fantastic striker and he's coming into the Slovenia team. Now, Slovenia are underdogs in the Euros, okay? So, but with that man up front giving them the firepower they need, can they just break out of their group and do something special? Moving on, we have a couple of other stars, but you know this one already is an unbeatable team, unbeatable season with what do they call it now? Bayer Leverkusen. We're talking about none other than Florian Wirtz. Florian Wirtz is a creative, talented, attacking midfielder. So there are lots of talents in Europe, and coming into the Euros this year, we're going to see good football. Lots of players to talk about.
For me, I think Euros is a good opportunity for clubs to watch out for young talents, because this is where the countries have to bring in younger players to play for their country. So for me, clubs should look out for star players, younger players. And we could make lists upon lists of all the star players, but you know how these things work. That you made a list. Is this just let's say it's an imagination? We are now hoping that some of these players, and I think it's for promotion too. You bring out 24 young players, 25 star players that will do well, so that clubs can, these things that agents come together and do. So they promote their players so that clubs can buy. But this tournament is a good tournament where you can pick up stars. If you remember, Aston bought Rosicky after the Euros. Do you understand? So you can pick up stars.
Same too with Alexis Sanchez.
Yes, you can pick up stars when if you watch this tournament, agents will be there. The club presidents will be there. Everybody's eyes is on this tournament. So you cannot, the transfer window have not started.
Sure,
officially,
though deals are going on,
but they are not started.
You guys are mentioning names of players that have done fantastic for their clubs so far this season. What about the underdogs for their clubs? You know, the players who were underdogs for their clubs. Talked about the likes of Doku, who didn't really shine that much. Perhaps he was struggling with getting playtime due to him and Jack Grealish fighting for places in the squad. Why not mention his name? And there's Xavi Simons as well.
These players are just there. What would you mention? Okay, he's playing for Manchester City.
Yes.
You can't call him an underdog. He's playing for a top. We are not talking,
Playing
talking
for a
about
top side, and he's had
playing for
a series of
playing for a top side doesn't mean he is a
he's going
class.
to probably start for Belgium in these Euros. That it's not a problem for us, but we are not talking about players that we don't really know.
Yeah.
But we want them to shine. As I said, no, this if I look at that list, you look at some of the names that we've not heard before. These are about promotion. Playing these tournaments are promotion. If you look at some things like Georgia, Turkey, do you understand?
Yeah,
So you see players that are not really play for top clubs, they are going to shine for their countries. Probably they get a good move to a bigger club after the tournament.
Okay, they get a big move to take up. And now we talk about transfer windows, but I feel like this Euros has plenty of fire to bring.
Yeah.
Now you look at the German side, you ask yourself,
They are playing today.
they're playing today
is the opening ceremony.
Today opening ceremony this evening by 8 o'clock. You ask yourself, who are the big names in the German side that, because the coach has been saying he has a starting lineup already. He's been using the same lineup that failed him when he wanted to make a switch of players. They failed him. They failed to win 2 games in a row in January and in February. Now he said no, he's going to stick with the team that won him the qualification for the Euro 2024. And this, or perhaps because they were host nations, he doesn't want to start changing team. He wants to bring the team that was winning him games before now, talking about Nagelsmann. Now, this team he's going to be using for the Euros, the 26-man list, is it enough? Or perhaps they didn't get that much players they needed, the quality of players they needed?
I think the best thing that happened to them is to bring back Cruz.
Yeah.
They have been playing since he said that he's not playing for Germany again, that he temporarily retired. The midfield has been good, but they have not progressed. But bringing back Cruz will give another dimension to that midfield. So I think the difference now is Cruz. It's the same squad, the same players, but now Cruz in it. Now you have good Cruz, Gundogan in the same midfield.
Which
now,
are 2 powerhouses.
yes, now you have
in
more
midfield.
stability in that midfield. Because if you look at the past 3 or 4 years, Germany have not really done well in major tournaments. From the World Cup to the last Euros, they have not really done well. Since they won the World Cup 2014, they have probably been knocked out in the group stage on every tournament. So they brought in Hansi Flick. He didn't actually do well. They had to let him go. Then they brought him another coach. So Germany is the host nation. Everybody expects them to win their first game, or expect them to qualify.
And to go far, looking at the groups right now,
It's
it's just Scotland, Hungary, and Switzerland. So it's looking like a solid group A, which Germany should be qualifying out of. So I think they need to get it right this Euros, and maybe they could land the trophy at the end of the day. But
I don't think they can win this trophy. I don't think they can win.
Well,
Let's talk about the host nation trying to get a result, trying to go find a tournament. You're undermining the likes of Scotland, who are actually there to hurt the big boys. You see, Scotland has always shipped out players to other big clubs in Europe. You see their top players, or perhaps their players play for.
It's basically Celtic and Rangers.
And Rangers.
In
That's
domestic,
it.
their domestic league is basically, you say Celtic and Rangers, and you talk about Motherwell and Heartland and all of that. But you also forget the fact that their players play for other clubs around Europe.
no doubt. You have the
players.
likes of Kieran Tierney, who's signed to Arsenal now, looking to move on.
The captain,
He's a solid
who's
left back.
who's the assistant captain in Liverpool.
You have credible
Yes,
players in the side,
Robertson.
but against the Germany side, man, come on. It's going to be a 3-0 drubbing this later on today. It's going to be a 3-0 drubbing. So
You're forgetting.
let's
Look
look
at.
at-
I used to say this. I used to see the Scotland game, and you see some certain players. I'll use the Man United and Chelsea academy graduates now, for instance.
Scott McTominay.
Scott McTominay, Billy Gilmore, and some other players. These players, when they play for their clubs, they are playing attacking midfield, centre midfield. But when they play for the Scottish side, they're playing centre backs. And you've asked yourself, who is the proper striker for Scotland over the years? None. The defenders are the ones scoring the goals, and they are the ones defending as well. Do you think now you're saying it's a 3-0 win? Do you think once they get a set piece, because they're always scoring from set piece, they have the highest number of set piece goals?
But how many set pieces then are you going to need to break down the German defense? Let's not forget that these are seasoned veterans
two
in the
corner
game.
kicks, 2 corner kicks, 1 free kick, and you're good to go.
Germany has the
What-
firepower to match them times 10. That's they have the firepower to brush these guys away in a heartbeat. Let's not forget about that. It's now just, are they going to come in the right state? Are they going to work together rather than to play for individuals? Are they going to be able to break this team down? Because this key strength of Scotland is that defense, trying to play the defense. They like to pack the bus, so to say. So it's now going to be that Germany has to win, set down the marker for the group, and then any other team coming up against Germany, I'm just looking at the Switzerland side as one that could get or nick a point of Germany in this group. Also looking at Hungary, the most important thing for this group is how the remaining countries in this group A play, what the results they get, and then who can nick a couple of points of Germany on an off day.
I like the way you are hyping Germany. Germany that they have been knocked out from easier groups in other tournaments.
Let's not forget.
What I'm saying is that you could say that it's Scotland, but Scotland is not still is a country that plays good football.
What?
They qualified this tournament by
Kudos to them. But this is
if you look at on paper, you could say, for example, if Manchester City is playing maybe Sunderland, on paper you will say Manchester City will win, but that's not how football works.
That's not how the game works. I'm just looking.
On paper, Germany has the better squad, but if you look at their previous games, you know that there's something wrong, fundamentally wrong with Germany.
All I'm saying is, apart from names, apart from record, apart from history, this side has what it takes to win a game.
They have what it takes to win. They even win the tournament.
That's
but the
what
question
I'm
is
saying.
that if you judge them by the last 3 tournaments, the two World Cups that they just finished and the last Euros, they are not really anything. If you look at all the qualifying, all the friendlies they have been playing, they've been losing. They lost to Japan
there are countries
and
that
the World Cup
4-1.
Is it
There are
3-1 or
countries that have
4-1?
been in transition.
What are they transiting?
That's what I'm saying, because they've changed managers a couple of times.
Because they are not winning games. It's not the same
You're
transiting.
That's
talking
what I'm
about
saying
changing
too.
managers. The managers come and go after the big tournaments.
After the big tournament, because they don't do anything.
Because they don't do anything.
So-
Now talking about managers that come and go. Steve Clark has been on this job for the past 3 years. For Scotland. He's been on the job for past 3 to 4 years, and he has been trying to build the team.
Irrespective of what he's trying to do, man, you're going to see that win today. Book it.
I like your confidence in this
Just book it.
German team.
If they break it out tomorrow, you know good.
Just book it.
Today, but I'm just judging them based on their previous games. They have not really played well.
Yeah.
So if you can speculate,
you see,
say
when you're not playing well, when the results are not going well, when all these things are out there, the most important thing is, how is that union within the side? How is that union within the team? They have all the right chemicals in that side now.
I think John has an insider in this German team.
To bounce back, because
he has an
it's
insider.
going to be a revelation
you've
one way or
seen- I
another.
believe what John is driving at is he's seen plenty.
On paper, he's seen stars.
He's seen not really stars. He's seen plenty of players who has not been in the game for a long time come back to the game. You saw the likes of Ika Gundogan, who is not really giving that performance for.
It's not really about the Ike Gundogan or the Tony Cruz. It's about adversity quotient, and that's what I'm talking about, because they have what it takes now to turn this thing around, and it takes one match.
No, Germany has been a big team. Even in last tournament, World Cup tournament, they are the big countries. They are part of it. They say they were going to qualify for the knockout stage, but again they were knocked out. You remember this last one, Japan won 4-1.
And I'm telling you, despite
what I'm saying actually is that you could say that Germany will win, but that's not how football. Based on their past records in the past 3 or 4 years,
I'm not telling you based off records. I'm going off based off what is prevalent, which is all the daunting figures out there that they should not win, they should not do well in
John,
this tournament.
Was the same thing you were saying in the Europa League finals about Atlanta, and you were all hypes for Xavi Alonso until an experienced.
I said Atlanta was going to win that tournament, didn't I?
But you said something about Alonso being the best coach in the tournament so far, and he was being shocked by the Atlanta manager.
I said that they were going to lose that tournament. I called that game, okay? I backed this man at Atalanta while you guys were singing the Invincibles and chanting their song. I called that match, and I'm calling this match now basically because they have what it takes now to turn this thing around. Because something has to give for the German side, and it's the right time for it to happen.
Don't you think experience is going to pay off for Steve Clark this match?
No, I
Experience.
don't think the only thing that
Come on.
will give Germany an edge is because they brought in Cruz back. That's one thing that will probably give them an edge in this game. Bringing Cruz back is, if you have watched Cruz is like a controller. He conducts the whole midfield. So in the past 3 years or so, they have not had him in their squad, and you can see that they are missing something in that squad. So bringing him back is the best thing. I don't know what they told him. Probably the coach told him that come help us. I beg, come help us. See, you have not been doing well, and he agreed to come back because he said he's done with the national team. But for the last time, he's trying to play with the national team before he retires from active football. So I think bringing in Cruz back is nice. Him and Gundogan playing in that midfield, it's something that I would love to see. Hopefully they win this game. I want them to go far. They have not really done well in past 3 tournaments so I need them
They
to
have
go
all
far.
the motivation they need. They are playing
And
in
they are
front
pl-
of
and
home
they-
supporters
yeah, they are
and
playing
all
at
of
home
that.
too.
So
Okay, that's it. It's Vote FM Sports here on Vote 104.3 FM. We're live on YouTube at Vote FM Sports, and we're also on Facebook at Vote 104.3 FM. Yes, we're live on YouTube at Vote FM Sports. We're talking about the German game this night against Scotland. I want to make us your prediction. Let us your predictions about the game. Let's know what you think would happen in that game. Do you think it's a walkover for Germany, or do you think Scotland has a fighting chance in that game? The numbers to call are 0706 048 5853. 0706 048 5853. And before let's come back, let's go on the break. When we come back, we'll talk about other issues happening around the world of sports.
stay on the flow. Follow Volt FM on Facebook at Volt 1043 FM. Let's vibe together.
Volt 104.3.
Yeah, we're back now. This is Vote FM Sports here on Vote 104.3 FM. We've been talking about the German game, and we want to let us know what your predictions will be about the game. The numbers to call are 0706 048 5853. 0706 048 5853. And we're also live on YouTube. If you are with your phone, please subscribe to our channel on YouTube. It's Vote FM Sport. We're live on YouTube now at Vote FM Sport. We lost this caller now, but now talking about the German game, other things happening around Europe. I believe this is the period where teams will be hoping to look for top talent. Well, hello, good morning.
About the German, I think Scotland.
Sorry, please. What's your name and location?
I know James calling from any state.
Okay, James, thank you. Welcome for the show.
I think that Scotland will beat them by 2 goals to 1.
Scotland will beat them.
That's a tough prediction.
So who do you think the standard talent will be for the Euros?
I think if you look at, I think probably he has seen Germany play in the last tournament. Based on that record, you could not say that Germany will win this tournament or win this game exactly. Do you understand? So that's what I'm saying. I'm looking at their past record, their past games. How many games have they won?
No, I think that's as a result, because Nagelsmann said this at the first game of the friendlies. He said they tried to change the setup. They tried to change the setup and they didn't get results. So he's going back to the original precept. Now, for a coach to say he's trying to change setup, see if he can introduce 1 or 2 players from here and there into the team, and yes, those players are not giving results. He has to go back to the original preset, bring back Tony Cruz, bring back some other players that he didn't call for the last.
I know
that's talking about.
Even Hamil, see, I think you want to bring him because he has said, obviously, I said that you're not going to bring in that issue, just retire from international football. But if you wanted to bring him back, even bring Muller back, actually he brought back Muller, brought back Cruz too.
Now this is it. You bring back those players and you see if you can tell the younger lads to learn from these players. because this might be their last chance at getting a trophy. Now you give these young players the opportunity to learn. So when you call them back into the national team and these players, these old men are not there to with them, then they could actually get a result for themselves.
Yeah, you can't underscore or let me say undervalue the impact these guys are going to have on that side, because these are players they've obviously grown up watching. They have a lot of respect for these players, and they are going to, get a lot of experience, learn from them. Obviously, they are going to provide leadership, which is where I think they've been having issues, because one of the things nobody talks about in football is when you take the first punch on the chin and maybe you make a mistake, you there's an error or something, how you react in that moment, how whether you are hypertensive, whether you are, flaring up, whether you are down on yourself, these guys have just the ability to calm the game down and regroup and build everybody up along them. So I feel that having them in the side is going to be a plus to the German side. And hopefully they can get one or two things from these guys. But the most important thing that these young players in the German side need is that confidence being put into them from these guys that have done it. They've won it. They've won it back to back. They've done it several times. So it's now just having more winners in this side that can, guide these guys through some of these trying challenges that are going to come, because they are going to come. They are going to need to close out games. They are going to need to get points on the board. They're also going to need to bury chances. And we are going to have somebody come up big for this German side in terms of getting those goals in. Let's see who it is.
Okay, let's see who it is. Now let's talk transfer windows, because the player that's been in the market, everybody's looking to get his signature, is now being hunted by Bayern Munich. Talking about Olise, the under 21 France midfielder Olise, who is also Nigerian, but now he's been dragged by Newcastle. Which team now it's proper for him to go? Is it going to pick the Newcastle side over Crystal Palace, or is it going to pick the Bayern Munich side?
And for me, if you look at the Mikel Olise contract situation, the big decider is going to be the fact that he has a secret hush hush release clause. Okay. Now, following up on that story, Chelsea made contact yesterday to find out, obviously, what the norm in football is. You don't want to get any heat or blowback on you from making a transfer move or something. So clubs prefer to contact the player, agree the contract with the player, get that side settled, and then approach the club. We saw that happen with a couple of teams in Europe a couple of seasons ago, where that contact was done, but the club was adamant that they are not going to sell the player. And the transfer window ended, they didn't sell the player. Okay, a couple of big names are coming to mind. It can go either ways now. But Chelsea have decided to go the route of contacting Crystal Palace up front, establish that goodwill, get information into what the terms of the release clause is, because nobody really knows what the release clause is, whether it's for clubs in Champions League football, whether it's for clubs outside the Premier League or whatever. But that conversation is happening right now. And while, just to put things in perspective here, while this is happening with Chelsea and Crystal Palace, Newcastle is still there in the fray, trying to meet agents of the players. Manchester United trying to meet agents of the player, and now we are getting this information from Germany as well too. I think the fundamental thing that is going to determine what happens here is where Olise feels he's going to get more playing time, play in a natural role to him, and which team is going to give him the prospect of getting some silverware. That's it. But now the club also have their own perspective, which is they want to get as much from the player. So if it's going to be in their favor not to disclose the contents of that release clause, as long as the player is not coming to them demanding a transfer, they are fine to just play that game and get the most out of whoever is going to be the final buyer at the end of the day.
Now you talked about club and where he goes to next. Now this same thing happened with Jude Bellingham, who you saw in the Champions League. In his contract, when they sold him to Real Madrid, they say if Real Madrid wins, they get an extra pay of about 25
It happens to
million.
almost all the contracts
Now,
they give.
if this player now is to move to Bayern Munich and there's a clause to his winning trophies, they say if you win a trophy, you pay us this big. it means there's a high chance he would be going not to Man United, not to Chelsea, perhaps to Bayern Munich.
Yeah, but clubs only exercise these clauses when they know they've got a star player on their hands and they want to maximize value for the player.
It's business for them. All these things we are saying, they are looking for money. If they are going to sell Olise, they are going to sell the highest bidder. Sure. Whether it's Newcastle, whether it's Bayern Munich, or whether it's any other club, they are looking for money. If Bayern Munich is bringing 80 million, okay, let's say if Newcastle is bidding maybe 100 million pounds and Bayern Munich is bidding like 60, and Olise says, I want to go to Bayern Munich. No, Newcastle will say no. They have to get more from the player. Do you understand? Because or you will stay. They'll give you option. Either you go to this club or
yeah,
you
but
stay.
then where we have this is how it should be. But where we have players that are emotionally invested in certain clubs, they can push through and get the move they want.
The problem is sometimes you don't want to.
I want to disagree with Godwin there. If Olise wants to go to Bayern Munich and Bayern Munich is going to bid for perhaps 60 million, Man Newcastle is bidding for 70, 90 million. I think now it will be a case of offering him to a Man United or a Chelsea who would bid more.
Okay, let's look at Kane as an example. Do you understand? Levy will tell you if you are not giving him this particular kind of money, you are not going anywhere. You could go on strike, do anything you want to do. When you finish, you come back. You see, when you're under a contract, when you are under a contract, under a club, they own you. They determine what your value is. It's not you. You can go on strike. I have seen clubs that they will not sell you, they will put you under 21, you will not play for 6 months. They can do that. So it's within their power to say, you are going, they can talk to you. That's why it's good to have a good will. You talk to go and beg them, see, I want to move. Bayern Munich is a good prospect for me. Find a way to get more money from them. Even if not 100 million, just try as much as to get money. But the club owns you, they can say not to sell you and they can keep you on the bench for 1 year.
They can keep you on the bench for 1 year.
Bayern can only do that if they offload some of their players. And talking about offloading some of their players, the light is on the way, on the move. Perhaps we will be in the market and Man United will be hunting to get his signature.
I don't even know they have 4 defenders. They bought this Japan guy,
Japanese guy
that yesterday. So I don't even know. They have to sell one. That's the truth. I don't know if it's going to be the French. What's my guy's name?
Of Meccano
or the like. It has to be without both of them.
And also, they are also looking at the Jonathan Tah situation.
No, it's
a lot of movements.
If he had wanted to move, he would have moved like 2022 when he was heavily linked.
Never say never, man. Never say never.
That's the same thing we said. The same thing we said about other players, and you end up see what they ended up. They retired at the club, and you ask yourself, this is the thing that happens to big clubs and big names. They don't always get the signings they want.
But sometimes they do.
Sometimes they do. Is that what you want to say? Now, I'm still talking about Man United looking for delight. Is this the right move to make? Because I said this the other day. These players, when you were struggling, you needed them to come to the club. They did not. They saw a better opportunity somewhere else, and they went for those opportunities. Now you're aiming high. You're trying to get into European football again. You're perhaps in the Europa League, and you're going to play big boys football maybe next season. Now they want to come to the club, and their age, they are already at their peak. They want to come to the club. Is it now saying that these players are just playing?
No, they like going to Manchester United. Is doing Manchester United a favor?
Sure.
Because if you are a player and Bayern Munich is looking for you, and a Manchester United that is going down is looking for you, normally you go to Bayern Munich.
Probably he
went to probably it didn't work out for him. It doesn't mean anything. Now Manchester United wants him. They need a defender in their squad.
And he's available.
And he's still 24 years or 25 years. He's still, the problem with the guy is that he started a captain Ajax to the semi-final at 19. So he's been around forever. So people will think, this guy has been playing for the past 6 years, so probably he's 27. No, he's still 24 years or 25 years. So he's been around for a while. So Manchester United needs a defender. They have been linked to all defenders. I think they need him, the Light, and the Everton guy.
Everton,
Jared Brandt.
If they bring these two players, 22 years and 25 years, if they bring it,
it's a better look for them, a better investment for them, rather than looking for somebody else.
If you add the butcher, then they have 3 top defenders.
I keep saying this. If people keep talking about Brett White, when you have the likes of Tobido, who is doing fantastic at Nice.
You see, the
Manchester United no want him now. They don't want to be.
He has been on the list, and you remember,
he's on the list.
I remember I said this the other day. City groups, they have a way of moving players around. So it's difficult for you to follow. That's why when they say they are sanctioning the EPL to court for accusing them of financial fair play, when you move a player from Girona to Man City, what is on the books is not clear because it's owned by the same City group. You understand? Now, Nice is being owned by Ineos as well. So why if you move players around, you do the same thing Man City?
But this same thing now, there's no will from the Manchester United side to go for Tobido or Todibo. So the main thing is, players will be thrown out there that Manchester is, gunning for them. At the end of the day, if there's no bid made, then probably that there wasn't much to the story as well. So we all know that Gerard Brantwaite is young. He's a player in the mold that Manchester United will be looking for his English and all of that. So that's why it's more feasible for them to be gunning for him as against a Todibo. And for example, if you look at the kind of players that clubs buy, Todibo is more like a player that a Chelsea would buy because they obviously love buying those types of players. So
okay, now talking about that, Liverpool are looking to sell their top defender to Saudi. Al Nassr are looking to sign Virgil van Dijk. I don't know why you're laughing about that, John, but now this is a player that I said he wants to stay and help and slot build a team. Now moving to Saudi as a surprise move, is it right? Or perhaps is it just
it's just money. It depends on how much they're offering him. He is 30 years.
He wants to be the contract states the contract they're offering makes him the highest paid defender on the planet.
If it's me, I don't go.
No, adjust your shirt.
I'm adjusting because see, he is 30 or 31 years old. He's probably, I think he's going to stay with Liverpool for one more season. Then he will probably go to Saudi or go to the US to make money. Because I keep saying it, when you have probably he's won the Premier League, won the Champions League, won the Carling Cup. I think they won the FA Cup at some point too. So he's won everything with Liverpool. So the only thing left now is for him to go and make more money. Even though I think he's still young as a defender, 31, 32, you are still young. You should play at least for 34 years before. After all, Thiago Silva played to up to 37 years. So I think it's not the right move for him. He should stay with Liverpool, help consolidate what Slot is trying to do. He is their captain. I don't think it's time for. There's enough time for him to go and make money. Probably when he's 34, 35 years, he can go Saudi and play more for one more year.
No, he should stay with Liverpool. That's what you're saying. Former Brighton manager Deserbi is being given the contract to coach Marseille at. Now I don't know what you make of this. Some coaches would take the lose and just stay off the radar for perhaps 6 months or so. Now, jumping into a job straight up, is it the right move for him? Or perhaps, I would say Pep Guardiola did it with Bayern Munich. He went off and he said he was going on a sabbatical. Klopp is doing it now with Liverpool. I'm going on a sabbatical after 9 years with Liverpool. If you're going to be leaving your job, will you be jumping into another job just less than 2 months or less than a month after?
It depends, basically. Different strokes for different folks, okay? So he feels that rather than go 1 year into the sabbatical and hope and pray for a big club calling for him, it's better to just stay in that limelight one way or another and keep producing what he's been producing for a couple of years at the clubs he's been at. So I don't think it's him jumping or making hasty decisions. It didn't work out for him at Brighton, obviously because of all the news, all the rumors, and a couple of results. But what was he given to make things happen at Brighton? That's what we need to look at. But now, looking at Olympique Marseille, they are a club in the mold of teams that he should be working with because they have that rich history in the club. They've been winning the league on a couple of times, apart from the Lyon dominated decade and then now the PSG dominated decade. And so now there's an opportunity for him to go there, build a powerhouse that can break that jinx in the league on and then push for something in Europe. So it's a good move for him. Obviously, he feels that he's getting more support from the Olympic Marseille project, and it remains to be seen how it's going to play out.
Okay, now Rio Ferdinand of let's go back to Man United. A former defender of Man United, has given Man United the green light or has proposed a defender from Lens to be signed to Man United. His name is Kevin Danso. I don't know how you make of it, but this is a player we've not really seen play in big teams, but he's not trying to be one of the best players ever.
Manchester United haven't really signed some of these players that legends have proposed. They proposed Erling Haaland. They proposed a couple of other big names. So let's see how it's
Now,
gonna go.
now somebody said something about Van Dijk staying back at. Let's go back there. Staying back at Liverpool
Liverpool, yeah.
help and slot build. Now he has a reply. I'll reply you. Uh, Okitipe Emmanuel says he should make the run fast. He should run fast. Not make the same mistake as Osimhen. Now, now, God, this is for you now. Is it now? Are you now feeling that the money is now important? Because everybody now is looking towards the money side of
if
the
you look,
game,
if you
and
look
not
at watch
everybody now is looking towards the money side of the game and not the impact side of the game.
But then you look at, let's not call it that way. Basically, there's another dimension to this that we are not seeing. This is the Saudi Pro League. It's now, the trend is obviously Saudi. They have the financial backing. They want to build a league that is, similar to what we have at the Premier League. And players, apart from the money, which is, let's give it a decent 70%, one of the reasons why they would want to move. There's also that aspect of going to this league to bring that spotlight there, help the league grow.
all this
Obviously,
thing you are talking, it's the
it
money.
happened a couple of
It's the
seasons
money.
ago.
Just leave all this thing you are talking.
Wait,
You keep
It's
saying,
the money.
no, see, I
Ah,
believe.
it's the money.
It happened a
debate that
couple of
little.
seasons ago when this guy, what's his name now, Chelsea player Oscar
Oscar went
yes,
to China.
went to China.
And he was being
A
criticized.
couple of other players too went to China. That was the rave that season. They moved to China. They did that. The Chinese league obviously couldn't keep up with this standard of paying outrageous sums of money to players. And what did they do? After a couple of years, they had to offload some of those guys and build back up from local talent. Now, but Saudis are different because they've got that oil money and they have
No,
all
the
the
thing is,
exposure and they can
there
build
was
a
something.
league.
There was a statement that was made by the FA of Saudi and of the Saudi League. They said they want to build a team that could compete and aim to win the World Cup. Now, if you're competing to win the World Cup, you need to bring top players from around the world to play in your league so you can end up growing your players, homegrown players. And now look at what happened in the World Cups. They went on to shun Argentina. They finished.
What happened?
So
didn't
that's
qualify, you know, guys.
progress. That's progress.
No, that's progress.
That's
See, this
progress.
is the Saudi team that has never qualified for the
No,
World Cup.
you have to understand that any player going there is going for the money. Whether you want to talk about their trial, nobody wants to go to Saudi League for playing or for anything.
Irrespective of that, this is what you call a fringe benefit or a nice to have. Being able to help grow the league. That's why Cristiano Ronaldo is there, obviously.
All this thing I say, if it's me, they offer me that one, I will go. Do you understand? Let's leave all these things we are talking about, growing or not growing anything.
Well,
it doesn't work
like Emmanuel is saying here on YouTube. He said he's won the Premier League, he's won the Champions League, he's above 30. He just needs money left to win.
That's the motivation. If you want everything, you need to win. You won the Champions League, you won the
he's not won the Ballon d'Or.
Okay, he came second. For a defender to go second, come second in the Ballon d'Or is something, an achievement. It's something you could tell your children in the future. After all, who won in that day was Messi, so you could be proud
And say
you came second to Messi. Do you understand? But he is 31 or 32 years old. He needs to go and make the money. I have told you, players' career differs. Some end at 35, 36, but maximum 40 years you are done. So 40 years to probably when you die at 80, what will you be doing?
I think what will determine what happens is where the player's heart is at a point.
It's not heart, it's the money.
For example, when
heart alone.
Lionel Messi could have gone to Saudi Arabia, but he preferred the kind of lifestyle they have in America and the what's his name now, David Beckham and companies in USA got together and put together a package deal to give him somewhat similar to
All this
what
thing
he
you
would
are
have
talking
gotten
about
at
is not
Saudi
money. You are still
Arabia.
talking about money.
And that's what I'm saying now. If what's his name now, Virgil van Dijk feels like he wants to stay in the Premier League or he wants to stay in Europe, irrespective of the amount you are throwing in his face, he will stay.
And
Now, still talking about players that would want to stay and want to go. Philip Coutinho has been given the exit door at Aston Villa, and I believe this is a player we saw at Liverpool go to Barca for a very huge sum, and we felt like he was going to be the next rated player in football. but it's not having that come his way. He's been on loan to Bayern Munich.
He won the Champions League.
Scored goals to
Bayern
eliminate
Munich.
his parent club. That's talking about Barcelona, and won the Champions League that year. And now he's back at Aston Villa. Look at it's like a downward trajectory from Liverpool.
But then
to
he can't sign himself to a big side, and Aston Villa came calling. So what were you expecting?
Now Aston Villa is trying to terminate his
They're
contract.
terminating his
Obviously,
contract.
they are terminating his contract. They want to get that load off the books. We understand that, and this is football, and it's business. Okay,
I can remember Klopp
he
telling
needs
him
to-
when he was trying to go to Barcelona, he told him, stay at Liverpool. You are going to be the biggest star in the whole world. So I'm going to make you the biggest star. They wanted to build that team around Coutinho. But obviously, there is this thing about Brazilian players and going to Barcelona. So he went to play and going to Spain. So he went to go to Barcelona. He worked out a little bit when he went to Barcelona. A little bit, first 2 years he worked out, but suddenly he didn't work again. They moved into Bayern Munich, where he won the Champions League. Then he had to come back to the Premier League. So I think for him, I don't know. I can't even describe his career. If he went up, he just went up and down, up and down, up and down. But now I think the best thing for him to do is probably go to Saudi, go to China, go to Saudi and go and make money, because no big club will sign you again and pay you big wages and
It
keep you
remains
on the
to be
bench.
seen,
So
though.
they are going to
still
listen.
terminating contract. Ndombele. Ndombele.
That guy has prospects. I didn't know what happened to that guy.
Yeah, but he's
He's
gone
been on
on loan and he's won 2 titles
He's
on
been
loan,
on
so he's doing fine.
two different loan
He's
spells.
doing fine for
and
himself.
he's won a title for
Yeah.
on those loan spells.
Yes, but Tottenham doesn't want him.
And that's fine
And
as well
this
too.
This is a player they competed with Man United in getting.
Yeah.
You know, at the time Man City was looking for him, Man United were looking for him, and he went to sign for Tottenham Hotspur. Now,
See,
And he was looking for playing time, which is most players that's what they look out for when they are signing for a club. He went Tottenham, it didn't work out for him. I didn't know at
he's
some
a,
point
he's
he
a
became
fantastic
overweight.
DM. So
Yes, he became overweight because some of his when he came back, I don't know if it's 2 seasons ago, 3 seasons ago, he came back, he was heavy, and the picture went viral on the internet. After that season, they loaned him out. I think after that season, he couldn't actually pick up the pace. Yeah, he could go to smaller clubs. I think he went to Lyon at some point, go to Lyon and play. But some of these clubs, English clubs, they demand you to be fit.
just like
They
we're
demand
seeing
you-
with Calvin Phillips,
Yeah, that's
only
the
that
thing
Manchester City is being criticized now for moving him on.
now Mourinho in Italy is
Jose.
perhaps in
They're
Turkey
talking now.
is looking to bring another Tottenham player to the side. Talking about Pierre Højbjerg, who has been fantastic. You saw him at Southampton. He's one of the top midfielders you'd ever lay your hands on.
He
And
now
now-
brought him to
Now he
Spurs.
brought
Yeah.
him to Spurs, and he's about to take him to Turkey to pay him a big wage.
He can afford to. Mourinho loves to reward his players, especially players that play well under him. You can talk about Mikel Obi still raving about Mourinho a couple of years after, calls him his father and stuff like that. So it's what he does. Like he knows that this guy has that leadership quality to get the rest of the squad in line, and he's bringing him in. Also Højbjerg is getting a bumper pay, so it's going to be good for him, obviously. But I know that getting Højbjerg into the side is going to be good for them. So
Personally, I like Jose. I like Jose because of his character.
yeah,
I like his person. When he moved to Chelsea, I didn't really know him when he moved to Chelsea. I was still a young boy then. So when he moved to Chelsea, after that first season, everybody was like, "Who is this young man that he's had this pride?" Like his pride was, I can't explain his pride. He could come in a press conference and say that in this next game I'm winning 2-0, and he goes out and he wins 2-0. So I like his person, even though at some point all this his pride didn't work out for him because he clashed with the club president. They have to sack him. He went to Real Madrid. The same thing happened to him. He moved back to Chelsea. It happened to him again. He has an ego that me personally I love. That ego brought him to the top. Probably that ego is one that affects him. Now, if you watch his press conference when he went to Turkey, everybody was there. Everybody was. He is a superstar. For me, if he needs a player in that side, they should give it to him because they need to wrestle that league from Galatasaray.
sure.
They need to, because they have been Turkish champion for a very long time, and there is this corruption. There is this rumor that
Yeah,
Ghana has
yeah.
been buying up players, buying up
buying up
referees.
officials
So
as well.
they are
too.
reporting Jose to cause chaos He's coming. I want to be seeing his press conference because he'll
Sure,
be telling you people how his baby. He will tell you, say, all of you are the cheat.
Sure.
So I'm interested in seeing what he's going to do in Turkey.
Since we're all interested in what he's going to do in Turkey, if you're not going to, like Arsenal, who's looking to bring in Ivan Toney now, if you're not going to be paying above £60 million for him, you should leave him here. Is that the statement coming in from Brentford now?
Why would Arsenal pay 60 million for Ivan Toney?
Not really Arsenal, but any other person that is looking to get Ivan Toney. We're talking about Man United now, looking to bring him in. So Hewland can be on the study.
I think he should go to Manchester United. Why? Because he could play as a supporting striker. That's Tony. Because if you look at how Brighton had the setup, they play with two strikers.
Yes,
they play with two strikers. Either of them support each other. Yeah. So I think going to Manchester United is better. He could play alone, or he could be a supporting striker. But I don't think Arsenal needs a player like him.
Yeah.
For me, because now they are officially moved Havertz to the number 9 position. So Havertz is probably like a similar player to him. So Arsenal needs a different kind of player. That's why I keep telling Arsenal should just go for Osimhen. Osimhen is a different kind of player that I think they need. So, but if 60 million is not bad for Tony, if you look at it, he's an English player. He's a good player too. He's a good player. Apart from that, he had a problem with the betting stuff. He was banned for 6 months. Apart from that, he's been playing well for Brighton. I think it's time for him to move to a bigger club. Another club that they should be looking for him is Spurs. Spurs needs a striker, and they need a star striker. I don't even know why they are not even looking at, because if you look at the English Premier League, if you look at maybe top 5 strikers, he is part of the top strikers. They talk about Watkins, talk about the Arsenal Havertz, it's top 5. So he should move to Tottenham Hotspur or move to Manchester United. But for Arsenal, I don't think Arsenal should work for him.
Now, the last person on the list I want to talk about is the person we'll be talking about all week, Douglas Lewis, who we are not sure where he'll be going to.
But he's going to Juventus
now.
They've
agreed a deal to sell him to Juventus, but it's not the players who will be making the switch to Aston Villa we're talking about.
I think one of the key factors.
They're going to be a swap.
Is it going to be McKennie or perhaps Eilish?
No, there is talks of giving Aston Villa £20 million and then giving them Weston McKennie, who is also valued at 25 million, and Samuel Ireland Jr.
It's either of the two, not both.
No, but that's the thing now. The way it's structured is going to be both, because Aston Villa are interested in Weston McKennie and Ireland, and that's what puts them now as, going to be the top destination for the swap. And of course, Juventus are a club that Douglas Lewis would love to play at.
No, they are building, so they need a lot of players, and it's a good move for him because he's going to play, and they are playing Champions League football too. So he has nothing to lose. Aston Villa is playing Champions League. Juventus are playing Champions League too. So, and he's probably going to make more money as Juve. So for money wise, playing Champions League, and if you look at a team that is likely to play Champions League next year again, is Juventus. Aston Villa might not play Champions League next season. Might. Okay. Because Chelsea are still going to find a way to fight for top 4.
It's a good
move for if they do the swap and get 2 players plus money, it's a good deal for Aston Villa.
So now let's put ourselves on the spot. Now I believe today, since we're starting the Euros 2024 today, what do you make of the predictions? I want to get your final predictions, John. Don't be biased because we've talked about
who is going to win or
discuss the win, the scoreline.
Okay, for today. Okay.
For today's game.
I'm backing it 3-0.
3-0. Wow, that's heavy.
I'm looking at a draw, 1-1 draw.
Since it's the first game, I think someone on the YouTube channel said we should be looking out for Germany and for Switzerland, like you said earlier. But that's it for us on the show today. Thank you for being here with us. I'm Nonso. This is Vote FM Sports here on Vote 104.3 FM. It's been an amazing time with you guys in the studios. I believe we'll be here tomorrow to continue. And we're also live on YouTube at Vote FM Sports. Please do subscribe. Thank you.
Thank you.
Vote 104.3 FM.